It's time for Liberty Today. On today's show, Gordon Howie and Representative Chip Campbell discuss South Dakota changing from energy consumer to energy producer. Sam Kephart talks about the potential for yet another war in the Middle East. And Pastor Mike Crompton discusses an unhealthy spirit in the church today. All this and more coming up on Liberty Today.
I've been talking about the book that my friend Barb Landers brought to the studio called How Do You Kill 11 Million People? And Barb, our conversations have been about courage and fear and misinformation. You had a couple of quotes from a leader that'll be familiar to all of our viewers
Yes.
by the name of Adolf Hitler. Read those if you would for our listeners.
These are very good, and I got them from this book. The first one is, how fortunate for leaders that men do not think. Make the lies big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. The second one is, the great masses of people will more easily fall victim to a big lie rather than a small one.
My goodness, and would it be your conclusion that America has fallen for some significantly big lies?
Oh, well, how can we listen to the news on any day of the week right now without knowing that that's true? It's one lie after another. And the Teflon president just seems to roll over them as if they're unimportant.
Well, this principle is proving itself true in the Obama presidency. If you tell a big enough lie long enough, people will accept it and believe it and actually defend it.
Yes, and they do. And I have friends and family that still defend this administration, saying, oh no, it can't be, it can't be true. These are not bad people. These are good people. The right-wing crazies are just making these things up. How they can live in this world of unreality, I don't know.
I don't either. You and I talked a little bit about courage and fear, and you said that courage is not necessarily the absence of fear. Tell our viewers a little bit about what you mean when you say that.
Well, if someone is courageous, it doesn't mean they're not afraid. It means that they can conquer their fear, put aside their fear, so that they can do what is right and good. That's what the meaning of courage is. It's taking your principles and saying they are more important than what I fear.
That's powerful. Principle is indeed
Yes.
more important than the things we fear.
Yes.
Principle is more important than party.
Oh, quite a bit more important than party.
But is it fair to say that we've lost our way, at least in the Republican Party, by putting party politics above principle?
Absolutely. And I think the experience of some of our legislators right here in South Dakota in this last session is a good illustration of that. I have one instance of a legislator that said that they were struggling on principle with whether or not they would vote for or against a particular bill. And they were counseled by someone in leadership, and this is Republican leadership, saying, it doesn't matter, only 1 or 2% of the people ever pay attention anyway.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Barb and I had a conversation a few minutes ago, and we talked about where the problem really lies. It's the masses are, in America, are largely principled people.
Yes.
Unfortunately, our leaders do not reflect that attribute.
They do not, many of them. I mean, we have some great leaders, even here in South Dakota. We have some great legislators who do stand on principle and are willing to step out and be courageous, but they're few. So many of the people in leadership in politics in South Dakota have become pragmatists. They are looking out for, I don't know whose interests, their own.
Well, party.
My party, okay.
We have to win at
Yeah.
all costs so that the party stays in control.
Well, I think it's not just that, and that's another thing that the author mentions in this book, that sometimes people in politics say, well, my intentions are good. If I can get into office any way that I can, doing whatever I can, it's because I know I can do good for the people. But as this author points out, intentions are meaningless. It's what you do that's important. And if you can't be principled when you're trying to achieve an office, then how can we ever trust you to be principled when you are in it?
Interesting that you use that example. I bet most, if not all, the people who are listening to us right now understand the phrase that the road to hell is paved
Oh, yes.
with good intentions.
We've heard that.
It's time we pave it with some principle.